Once upon a time, there was a beautiful princess who was betrothed to a prince in a faraway kingdom. Her mother, the queen, gave her a handkerchief with 3 drops of her own blood to protect her and a noble talking horse named Falada. With her faithful maid, the princess set off on the long journey to meet her future husband. After traveling for a while, the princess became thirsty and asked her maid to fetch her some water from a nearby stream. The maid, however, refused, saying that she was no servant. The kind princess had no choice but to kneel down and drink from the stream herself. Each time this happened, the drops of blood on the handkerchief whispered, "If your mother knew, her heart would break in two." As the journey continued, the wicked maid grew bolder. She forced the princess to exchange clothes with her and swore never to tell anyone about the switch. She even threatened to kill her if she disobeyed. Dressed in rags, the true princess was forced to take on the role of a servant, while the maid rode proudly on Falada, claiming to be the princess. When they reached the kingdom, the false princess was received with great honor. She ordered Falada to be killed, fearing that the talking horse might reveal the truth. The real princess begged the king's stable master to nail Falada's head above the city gate so she could still see him. He agreed, and every day as she passed, the horse's head spoke to her. "Alas, dear princess, if your mother knew, her heart would break in two." The true princess was given a job tending geese with a boy named Conrad. One day, as she combed her golden hair, it shone so brightly that Conrad tried to grab it. But each time, she whispered a magical rhyme, and the wind blew his hat away, forcing him to chase after it. Frustrated, Conrad complained to the king. Curious, the king secretly followed the Goose Girl and saw her talking to Falada's head and using magic to protect her hair. He gently questioned her, but she was too afraid to speak. So, he suggested she confess to the iron stove, knowing that he could listen unnoticed. The princess poured out her story, revealing everything. Furious at the betrayal, the king summoned the false princess. He asked her how a deceitful servant should be punished. Thinking she was safe, she suggested the traitor be put into a barrel spiked with nails and dragged through the streets. The king then declared that this was to be her fate. The true princess was restored to her royal status, and she married the prince with great joy. Justice was served, and they lived happily ever after.